Hey there everyone, welcome back. It has been quite a while, but I've got something really neat to share with you all today, and that is how to do egg RNG without custom firmware. This is something that has been in the works for a while now, and I've tested it out. It works, it's really cool, and so I've had one of the most frequently asked questions I get is, how do I do this without custom firmware? And up until now, I could say, sorry, that's really the only way. However, that's not the case anymore. So, let's go over how to do this. First off, you're going to need a couple of things. You're going to need a way to get your Switch onto your computer somehow, either through a capture card or through using a phone as a webcam. Either way, you're going to need to figure out a way to do that. I have a capture card, so I'm going to be using that method. So this is for that. You're also going to need this Project XS. This was originally developed by a bunch of Japanese RNGers and then adapted for English language by Lincoln. So special thanks to everyone who was a part of this, because without it, this would not be possible. So you're going to need this. So I've already got things kind of set up here, and we'll go over everything when we actually start RNGing. But when you start out here, for the egg, you're going to want to do two things. You're going to want to have only one Pokemon in the daycare, and you're going to want to start out one step. You see, one step just south of the daycare lady. So you can save here. That's a good spot to save. Then what you're going to do is you're going to open up your bag here, and you're going to use a Super Repel. Why a Super Repel? Because a Super Repel lasts for just the right amount of steps in order to generate an egg. So when this Super Repel expires, you'll be at the right number of steps, so that you'll be able to just take one step and generate an egg. So that's perfect. So let's go ahead, use the Super Repel. Now exit out. You're going to want to take 21 steps going up and down, and your 21st step should end you right in front of the daycare lady. So let's count this out. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21. And I got this from Lincoln's guide. I don't know if this part is necessary, but I'm doing it anyways because. And now go ahead and drop your Pokemon off at the daycare. So the reason that you don't want to have two in there is so that when you drop off this Pokemon, your step counter gets reset to 180. So that's the purpose of taking those 21 steps ahead of time, is to make sure you are at 180 steps when the Super Repel will wear off. So, well, 179 rather. That's what the 21 steps is for. So there we go. Go ahead and submit your Pokemon. Alright, now we're just going to go ahead and run over to our house. Alright, so just go ahead and fly. Don't take too many steps, but when the Super Repel expires, that's when we'll get an egg. So here we go. Run into the upstairs of your house. Now, here we go. I like the step here because I've calibrated my camera kind of, but here we go. You just go ahead and take steps until you see the Repel expired message. So this will take a fair few steps, but we'll get it done. And we should be almost there. I'm so used to CFW that sometimes I run into problems. Alright, so now I found you can theoretically do it from this screen, but I find it's actually easier to do it from a different one. So first off, you can't be facing up. You have to be facing down. There we go. Now you're going to want to have a registered item here. Use it. Alright, so this is where you want to be, because if you have this screen up here, your character will not fidget, but they will still blink. You see that there's a blink. Now the blinks are what's key here. So let's go into our Project SS here. So first off, you got some basic configurations, and you see an eye right here. That eye indicates like what the camera is looking for. So essentially what it's going to do is track the player character's right eye, and whenever it blinks, it's going to log it. And then the blinks and double blinks will help it generate the seed. That's how this works. It's really cool. So there we go. So then we have over here, we have a camera. So I'm using camera 1 because this is a capture card. But if you have, for instance, a projector or something going on your computer, you can monitor a window instead. But I find it works pretty well with a capture card, just using it as a webcam. So we've got a few options here. We got monitor blinks. This is the button we're going to hit when we actually want to start monitoring the blinks, so that we can figure out what our seed is. Re-identify. We'll get to that in just a little bit. Preview just shows you a preview of the video. Here, let me click it and you can see. There you go. You can see that we're doing a preview of our video. And it's actually useful because we're going to need to line things up a little bit better. Stop tracking. If you're tracking things, it'll stop tracking. That's simple as that. Timeline, don't worry about it for eggs. You don't need it. TID, SID, this is if you want to figure out your trainer ID using the blink counter on a Munchlax. Still, just you don't need it for eggs, so don't worry about it. Then, of course, you've got XY, so that affects the position of the blue square you can see on the screen. And the important thing is that it's blue, but you don't want it to be blue. You want it to be over the right eye of the player character, so you can see there. So now it is a blue square tracking the eye and a red square around it. The red square is the general area that it's looking in, and you'll notice that whenever my player character blinks, it logs it by turning the whole square blue. So hopefully we'll blink really soon. You can see that, but if not, just keep an eye on it and you'll notice it. So yeah, XY, make sure you can get that box over your player character's right eye so they can track it. Now, W and H, that affects the size of that red square, so you can make it bigger or smaller if necessary. TH is your threshold, which if you have it too high, for instance, let's say turn it up to 7. No, now it's no longer tracking the eye as well. So I have it at 0.5, but if you have a better quality picture, you can go higher. The threshold just is how sure is it of a blink before it actually logs it. This works fine for me, but for you it might be different. Leave all these other ones alone. This is for if you're doing Legends, which I haven't really experimented with, but once I do, I'll let you all know. So anyways, so here we are. We're ready. We're ready to figure out what our seed is. We got a preview here, so we know that our box is set up right. You can see just then it turned blue when the character, when it blinks. So let's go ahead. We're going to go over, we have everything set. Just go ahead and hit monitor blinks. Alright, so now we're tracking things. So over here in the upper left, it's going to look for 40 instances of blinks. Why 40? I know it's a lot, but 40 will allow it to be sure that whatever seed it generates will be unique rather. Alright, so here you go. In this window I've got right here, this is, you can just see it's logging things. So whenever it blinks, it'll log it. If you do a double blink, it'll log that too. It'll have intervals. This is mostly for your just for your perusal. It doesn't affect anything, but you can see there, do a double blink, it's logging everything. That's a double blink. So it's going to get to 40 of these here. And then when it gets to 40, it'll do its math, and then it will spit out your seed. So we're going to have to just wait a little bit, because depending upon what seed you are, sometimes it blinks fast, sometimes you blink slow. So we're just going to let that run for a little while. And I will leave this video preserved, but I'll put a little subtitle here so that you can skip ahead to know when the blinks are done. Alright, so we've only got 2 more blinks to go. Sometimes their camera might miss a blink or two, and if it does that, it's no big deal. You'll get an assertion error and it won't give you a seed. Just try it again. It's not 100% perfect. It's not fail-proof, but it is much better than the alternative, I'll tell you that much. So okay, we just need 1 more blink and we should get a seed. Come on. There you go, double blink. Alright, there we go. It gave us a seed. So you'll notice here that it gives you your seed in 2 handy-dandy methods. First, it gives you the 4 byte chunks that you could put into like Chatot or something like that, but it also gives you the 2 giant seeds that Pokefinder likes, and Pokefinder is good with eggs, so we're going to use that. You can also see that now it is currently tracking what advance you're on, so that is handy, so you know what advance you are currently on. And you can also see it over here as well, but you can also see it here. So this is great. That's perfect. Alright, so now what we're going to do is we're going to bring up Pokefinder. Let me just find it real fast. Okay. And I'm going to bring it all the way up to the top here. Okay, perfect. We got Pokefinder. And Pokefinder egg, and we're just going to move it over here because we could just leave everything there. Okay, perfect. So, now, I've already got most of the information put in here. Now, you will need your trainer ID and SID, so note that. If you don't have CFW, I think right now the only way you can get it is by sending it to someone who does, and they'll be able to provide your trainer ID and SID, so that way if you're looking for a shiny, you'll be able to get that. So, do note that. I already have it because I have it. Full disclosure, I am doing this on a CFW Switch. However, you'll note that I am not opening any sort of menus. I'm not doing anything other than this method. So this is the same process for any Switch. Alright, so they've got 2 seem to get along, and now we're just going to go ahead and drop our seeds right into here. Oop, that's not the right seed. Alright. Go ahead and drop those 2 in here. Perfect. Alright, we've got our parents already set up. We've got our gender ratio set up. We don't have all the... there we go. Now we have all the options. So we're going to look for a shiny, and we don't care about anything else. We just have the gender ratio set. Alright, so... Advance 1439 looks like it would be a shiny, so that seems pretty good. Now you're thinking, all right, that's all fine, well and good, but I am here over at Advance 164. How am I gonna? This is gonna take a long time to get to 1439. Well, you don't have to worry about that because you can re-identify, which this button right here is if you do any advances or you aren't sure where you are, once you have your initial seed, it can take 20 more blinks and figure out what advance you are in that seed. So I'm going to go ahead and close out this and bring up my Pokedex. And I'm going to go through a few times. Not too many. Alright. And then, important thing, remember to go back to this menu so that you don't fidget. And then go ahead and click the re-identify button. And you can see, there we go. It's already tracking things. Now it's only going to track to 20. And you can see here, it's figuring out, doing the exact same thing over here. So yeah, once we get to 20 blinks, it will tell us what advance we're at. Because we're no longer at 207 like it thought we were supposed to be. So we just have to wait a little bit. And again, I'll put in here when to skip to, so the blinks are done. But I want to leave them in here so that you can see what the process is from beginning to end. Alright, so there we go. Perfect. So it did its math, and we figured out that we were at advance 1220, so now it's just continuing off of that. So we still have a little ways to go to get to 1439. So this is the one cut I'll do, because this is just waiting, like 2 minutes, just standing here, but the blinks and everything are all recorded. So I'll cut ahead to close to the seed. Alright, we're close enough, so let's talk about how to do this. So when you get to your target, you're going to hold down on the D-pad, and then you're going to press A at your target, +1. For me, +1. You'll have to test your own delay. So I'm going to, when it says that I'm at advance 1440, I'm going to press A on my Joy-Con here. So here we go, we're almost there, but I'm already holding down on the D-pad because I can't move. 39, 40. Alright, now that should be done. You should have an egg. So only one way to find out. I'm not going to save the game or anything, because we can always redo this later if you mess up. But here we go, we're going to fly to Solacion Town. Solacion? Whatever. We're going to fly to the nursery. And we're going to go and we're going to check to see if the nice man has an egg for us. Yep. Alright, we got the egg. Alright. I'm going to give it a save here. And we're going to take a look. Now, normally you'd have to hatch this egg, but again, this is on my CFW Switch. This is going to be the one concession I make during this video here. So I'm going to go ahead and bring up my party menu and look at Party 6, and look at that. It's saying it is a shiny Drifloon. So, there we go. Let's look and see 1439 here. It is a rash nature, and it has HP 19, 24, 31, 5, 31, 31. Perfect. This is exactly what we wanted. And again, this was all done. The only use of CFW I did here was just to check this egg to show you all that it was in fact a success without having to hatch the egg. That's the only thing I did with CFW. Everything else was done without it. So that's all there is to it. There is a ton of other stuff, ton of like little nitty gritty about this, but generally do this method here and just follow exactly that. Take the 21 steps after using the super repel. That puts you at 179 steps to go until your repel wears out. So 21 steps, drop off your Pokemon, fly to your room, and then just when you get to the super repel expiring, just face down, don't take a step, face down, and then configure the camera and find your seed and go from there with Pokefinder. That's all there is to it. Please go join my Discord. Ask if you have any questions. I'm more than happy to help because this is pretty complicated. But isn't that neat? Isn't that really cool? So I'm going to go ahead and hatch my shiny Drifloon. But I will see you all next time with some more RNG. And maybe we'll even do some legends without any CFW whatsoever. So I will catch you all next time.